That is so good. And you know, we're starting to show right now. Right now, we're starting to show. Hello, I'm Ben Coleman, your anchor host here for the Florida Aviation Network, and coming to you live and in the clear from Central Florida Aerospace Academy. And if you're not familiar with the area, that's Kathleen High School. And we are having fun here. And this is Sun and Fun, as a matter of fact, 52. Red, white, and blue, 52, the 52nd annual Sun and Fun. What we do here at the Florida Aviation Network, a project of the National Aviation Safety Foundation, is promote safety. And we morphed out of the FAA, and we are a hard, staunch supporter of the standards, the regulations, the rules. And I hate to call them regulations all the time, but it's a standard. And we need to learn as much as we can about that standard and always try to at least meet the minimum of those standards. You can always exceed them, but you do not minimize them. And education is part of it, and that's the reason we love staging here out of the high school during Sun and Fun. And we have a lot of educators walking around here and a lot of young people, which is encouraging to us old people. I know some old people, but I used to be a young person, and if I had this, no telling how successful I would have been if I'd have had this opportunity. Our guest here this morning is, and I'm going to go ahead and welcome her rather than just talk about her because she blushes so much. Barbara Walters-Phillips.
Hi, Ben.
Barbara, it's always good to see you. And you're inspirational, you're bubbly, and you just exude happiness.
Oh, thank you, Ben.
And tell what are you up to now, Barbara?
Well, I guess I'm so happy because I love what I do. I work with aviation education. It's really my volunteer job because I've always been a teacher. And once I got started with the aviation part of it years and years ago now, I realized that I could work with the education and the aviation together. And wow, it's never been the same. So it has made my career very exciting. Every day is something new and different. But as I said, a lot of my work is on Saturdays. I teach middle and high school students at Orlando Executive Airport.
I was not aware of that. And I thought I knew, just when you think you know it all, you learn something else. And I didn't know that.
Yes.
Right there at the Executive Airport.
Right.
Or if you're around long enough, it was Herndon.
It was Herndon, and we learned, just last week we spent a lot of time talking about the history of Orlando Executive Airport, and of course Herndon was one of its earlier names. So we're just off Herndon in a hangar. We have our clubhouse there.
That's Herndon Road, by the way.
Yes, Herndon Road. Yes, Herndon Road at Orlando Executive Airport. We meet, our little classroom is in a hangar, and it's very small, but we have like 15 students at a time. We offer Introduction to Aviation. It's not a really special name, but it is a special program. And the students are middle and high school students. We get them from all over. Some of them have driven as much as 2 to 2.5 hours to be a part of the program.
That takes effort.
It does. And they arrive at 9 o'clock on a Saturday. So you know they love aviation or they wouldn't be there. And we do expect them to come every week, which they do. But we have a different topic, and I have a team of volunteers that work with me on this. It's just lots of fun. But at Orlando Executive, we start the first week with Introduction to Aviation, with learning, giving them an overview of the program. And then after we teach them all about the parts of the plane and what makes it fly, we take them out, and the Academy of Aviation is kind enough to let us borrow one of their Cessna 172s, and the students are able to sit in the plane. We let them sit in the left seat, and one of our volunteer instructors is also a flight instructor, and he sits in the right seat. And one after another get in and just handle the controls, put their feet on the rudder pedals, and ask any questions about the instruments they see. So it's a really good introduction. And the young man who does that is Nick Rumplick. Nick was in the 8th grade when I met him. So you see, you plant a seed. He was learning to fly gliders, and we connected at the middle school and just stayed in touch over the years, and I watched him as he went through UCF. He continued in aviation after the gliders, got his private pilot's license, went all the way up, and now he is an airline pilot.
That doesn't make us feel old, does it, Barbara?
No, not at all. So that's our first week. We also go through and look at the flight simulators in the flight school, and then they end up with a little balsa glider that we go outside and have a distance contest.
That's fun.
So that's week 1. And then week 2, we have to learn about weather. So I have a young lady who graduated from Embry-Riddle and has a lot of training in meteorology. She's a flight instructor as well, but she comes in and talks to them about weather, and before that session ends, they know how to read a METAR, and they have to break that all down and fill it out. And after we make them work so hard, we walk over to the Orange County Sheriff's Department hangar, and they are given a tour. We like to talk with the students about careers in aviation, because maybe they don't want to be the pilot, but you have all those other careers.
Support groups, support staff.
Yeah. So we meet with the people in the aviation division. They learn about law enforcement and how they could be a part of that. And I think it's a great experience, because then we go in the hangar and they get to sit in the helicopters that most of them, all they've had is seeing them fly over. That's their only experience.
What's that I hear? Oh, it's a helicopter.
Right. So that's our second week. We go over there and then bring them back. And third week, we decided it's time for hands-on. So again, we have a volunteer who heads that up with building. It's a rubber band powered with a dihedral wing. Takes all morning to build. And we have to follow directions. We have everything laid out. So after we finish, we go outside and they get to fly them. So quite exciting. And it's amazing. They fly so well.
And the challenge here is, we talk about the kids so much, but I'd like to give a plug to the parents.
Absolutely.
Because if you don't take your kids, if they're not driving yet, you got to get there somehow.
You know, I try each week to thank those that I see. This is where our program, they can stay if they want. Some sessions, it's amazing. I have lots of them come and just sit in the back, and they'll usually ask me, could we have a class for adults? I said, if we had another day in the week, we would. But they pick them up. Some of them, being high school students, are able to drive themselves, which is amazing. So the attendance is really, really good. But you're right, everybody has to get up early on a Saturday. And as I said, some of them drive quite a ways to get there.
And parents, guardians, relatives, siblings, whoever helps support someone that wants to follow their passion and their dreams, we're all behind it.
Oh,
we really are.
Absolutely. And I think that's so important. You bring up a good point there, that we do need to be reminding ourselves to thank them. It's really important.
Barbara Walters-Phillips. The Phillips aspect of that, but did something happen nice yesterday to someone with the last name Phillips?
Oh, it did, yes.
Tell us about that.
Well, my husband is Pat Phillips, and he was inducted into the Florida Aviation Hall of Fame.
That's great.
It was a wonderful program. Terry Greiner and her crew from the Florida Aviation Historical Society put that together, and it was over in the museum, and Pat got the opportunity to come up and speak, and he has been very interested, of course, in the history forever, and has been a member of that organization. So he was able to reference some of the very early people who were involved in that. And one of the gentleman's son, Eddie Hoffman, was there. But Pat remembered when his dad, Ed Hoffman, flew the plane, the French plane, in the Tampa area. back in '84.
The Benoit?
The Benoit.
Benoit?
Yeah, Pat talked
Benoist?
about that too. He said, I used to think it was Benoist, but I've learned it's Benoit.
It's a Benoit.
Yes.
But it's spelled, and a lot of people call it the Benoist.
Yeah, they do.
What is a Benoist? I don't know.
Yeah.
Benoist,
But Pat had
Benoit.
gone down for that
Yeah.
way back, yes. So that was fun. It was really fun seeing those people. And I have to say, they put together an amazing video about him. And he's sitting there thinking, oh, they must have asked me for those pictures. No, they did all that research on their own, all the way back to his Air Force and going to law school at Samford in Birmingham. They had all that. So when I was able to tell him, no, Pat, they did that. Yeah,
Well,
it was
and
amazing.
Pat, he's coming along. You know, he used to be kind of reserved and shy, but he's coming out and he's finding his mark. He really is.
He is. He's trying to retire
Nah.
from his aviation law practice,
No,
but it just
that's not
doesn't
gonna
happen.
That's not going to happen. Nah. Barbara, and by the way, Celeste says hello.
Oh,
She's
tell
one of
her
your,
hello.
She's your biggest cheerleader.
Oh,
And, that's
she's
my daughter.
amazing. Yes, his daughter, who is also a teacher, math and science, so we connect.
And it is, and science is such a valuable part of, well, actually, of everything. If you
It
don't stop
really
and think
is.
about it.
It is.
You know, why does the windshield fog up on me in the morning? Well,
Right.
there's a reason for that.
Yes, there is.
And aviation it's not just aviation anymore. It is aerospace.
It is aerospace. And you
And-
know who used to tell me that? Scott Crossfield.
Bless his heart.
He always said it's not just aviation and space, it's aerospace. So, yeah.
And boy, whatever you do, don't ask Kermit Weeks about airplanes. It's not just about airplanes.
Right.
It's the experience, the transition through the air, the flight, the beauty
Exactly.
of flight.
And that's what he talked about. He was the keynote speaker for the ceremony for the Hall of Fame, and that's exactly what he said.
Well, he's coming along well. I'm still trying to
Yes.
learn Kermit on
I know.
how to talk to people, but no. Kermit is, and again, we mentioned a lot of names here. Look them up. If you're watching this show or
Yes.
you hear it, do some research.
Right.
Information. Do you remember when the internet first really kind of started to come alive?
Yes,
The information superhighway?
for sure.
Anything in the world, sometimes too much information, but
Yeah.
but there's so many resources out there, and I know you use them as an instructor, an educator. I would say, I always say instructor, but you're an educator.
Yes.
And watching, you mentioned that you had somebody when you're in their 8th grade, and they're now flying for the airlines.
Yes.
And it does make us feel senior when we see this transition. And kids that you haven't seen for a while, man, they just sprout up, they grow.
They
And you
do.
see, they recognize your face and we theirs, but it's fun to see them come as an adult
Yes.
and come into their own.
Yes.
And,
And you know, you become like a family with them. We just had our 4th Ray Aviation Scholar, and she just passed her check ride, got her pilot's license 2 weeks ago. So we're just so proud, but you're right. They become like family for life. Like I said, we've had 4 of them. They stay in touch. You know, they'll just call out of the blue and say, you know, just checking in. It's so nice. It just is a family. The aviation community is so very supportive. I know for us with our programs and all the things we do, you know, if I ask for something there at the airport, everybody is just so kind.
It's contagious.
Yes.
It really is. And Barbara, I know as we're out riding around and or walking around, not everybody gets to ride, but walking around the campus here, it's a fun group of very nice, kind people. I can think one time I heard somebody get their I can't say panties in a wad, can I? But I can say they got their knickers in a wad because somebody was taking too long in front of them.
Oh,
And the kids were watching this. I mean, there was some young kids around, and I say they're watching this, and they're going to emulate this.
yes, they do.
And but that's one time I've ever seen that happen. The other times it's, oh no, that's okay. We're not in a hurry. Take your
Yeah.
time. kids are watching this, and they will
are.
emulate you. So for all you big, old, mean, nasty people out there, be kind and teach
Yes.
your kids the right way to interact with society.
Yes. Well, I always say I just have a 2-word rule: be nice.
Yeah.
Have a little plaque that says that on my desk. But
Well,
be
so
nice.
that's why we're driving. Melody will be driving somewhere, and somebody do something crazy in a car, and she was. I wish I had a sign on the car I could flash out on. Said, "Is it going to be nice?" Or no, it's not. But be nice. Be nice.
Right. So
And-
true.
But you're, Barbara. Is it what's the next phase? Because you guys are going through changes. We all are.
Yeah.
But there's got to be the next phase of what you're doing to proliferate what you have started.
Well, right now our program is 8 weeks, and like I said, I have a team of volunteers that work with me on that. But one of the goals that we have is that we would love to write an advanced curriculum, because at the end, when they come back and they learn, flight planning and communication and all of that, and then they do get a graduation flight at the end. And they come back and they have this big smile and they want to know what else can we do. So we always I send a lot of them here to the Sun and Fun summer camps. So we've been talking a lot about that and sharing that information. In fact, we don't have class tomorrow on Saturday because all the families have been told to come over here
Good.
and experience Sun and Fun.
This is going to be the class.
Oh, absolutely.
All day.
So that's happening tomorrow. I'm very excited because I can't wait to hear what they have to say. Next week, they've not been here. I think one of them had been here before. But, the first time you see this, it's just so amazing.
I'm going to look into my crystal ball, and they're going to say, Barbara, I had no idea all this was here.
Right.
I had no idea.
They will say that. So we would like to do an advanced curriculum someday where they could come for another 8 weeks and we take them farther, into the subject. Another thing is we are in a hangar that is, it's very small, our little classroom area. We have 15 students at a time. We do 3 sessions a year, fall, winter, and spring. But we're kind of outgrowing it. So down the road, we would like to get a larger facility. So we're always looking at that. It's really tough. There's just not any space available. And people have said, well, maybe you should go somewhere else, or how about off the airport? No.
Not the
We
same.
are Orlando, and we need to stay there at that airport. And it has such history and all that. I love it there.
Well, there's so much happening. And were you able to get in on Isaacman's talk yesterday, Chair?
I heard part of it, the
Okay.
recording of it, but yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, this is, gosh, what can I say? Surround yourself with successful people.
Yes.
And your chances of being successful tenfold.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You can get with the round crowd, your peer group, and they'll pull you down in the sewer immediately. So
Right.
that's why it's so important to, as you say, be nice,
Yeah.
be kind, be professional. We just had talk with Greg Kuntz.
Yeah.
Not much better. Not
Oh,
much better.
he's amazing, isn't he? I know when we were doing air show, Greg is one of the ones that, Pat flew air shows with, and then when Pat was the chairman of the air show here, Greg was always one of our pilots, and, I've talked with him many times, just a wonderful person.
Well, Barbara, we're spoiled because we kind of, this is our environment.
Yes.
But it can be your environment too.
It
So
can.
that's the important thing is, if you want to get involved, there's only one thing stopping you. That's you.
That's you, exactly. Yeah.
And we have, here at the Florida Aviation Network, we take a lot of pride in helping people achieve their goals.
Right.
And we just look forward to, every year I see you, and I guess I know she's involved.
Somewhere.
I guess last time I saw you and Pat was Oshkosh.
Oh, I
We're out
guess
walking
so.
around.
Yeah.
And
It's been a while.
but we have got a few things. Is there anything else you'd like to say about Pat? Because we're looking at Pat as we speak. We're looking at Pat. That's the program right now.
Oh,
We're
there he
seeing-
is.
Yeah.
I do see him. Yeah, it was a very big day for him. He really enjoyed it. I think he was very surprised, you know, when he got the call, and didn't really know what to expect, but he just had the best time. And we had lots of friends that came and family, so that all again made it so special.
Well,
But- and to have it here, I mean, for them to present it at Sun and Fun, yeah, that was awesome.
I didn't want to horn in on, this is your segment,
Oh,
but we
no.
wanted to share a little bit of Pat, because
Well,
we
we
weren't
do.
able to get Pat over here into the session.
Yeah, well, we
would
do
love-
a lot of things together with the aviation, and he'll come over and sometimes, come in and help with some of the classes and so on. So
Well, let's plan on getting him over here one of these days.
let's do that.
All right.
That'd
Thank
be
you
great.
so much for your time.
Thank you.
And we're going to take this time to get ready for another dynamic interview